Folks, I know I'm just the warm-up act here for the main attraction. I want to thank you all for being here this afternoon or morning, whatever it is at this point. Our board team is absolutely thrilled to achieve this milestone. The 5-month nationwide search culminates in today's exciting announcement for our district. The board just voted, as you saw, unanimously to move to the next stage in its search for our superintendent. In the coming days, I will begin contract negotiations on behalf of the board with Dr. Demetrius Liggins. Before I turn it over to Dr. Liggins, I'd like to say a few thank yous and say a few words about him. First of all, thank you to Dr. Marlene Helm. And honestly, I think Dr. Helm is probably on a flight to Greenville right now to help Dr. Liggins pack. Dr. Helm has been a steady, wise hand. She has been an incredible and tremendous asset to our board team in our district, and we are profoundly grateful to her. And she's probably profoundly grateful to us that this decision was made today. I also want to thank our committed staff. There are too many people to name, as Board Member Jones mentioned, but everyone in FCPS came together to make this search process happen, and we are profoundly grateful to them. Our board team could not have done it without the talented team at FCPS, so we are grateful. Our screening committee, who did so much work, rolled up their sleeves and vetted the candidates and did the research and brought us a quality pool of candidates that really made our decision so difficult. And our lamplighter students, our student ambassadors at the meet and greet this week, all who participated in the input sessions, the focus groups, completed the surveys, the feedback. We heard from the community in this process, and it was exciting and enriching to us as a district and board team. Thank you so much. And our incredible search partners at Greenwood, Asher, and Associates, with whom this would not be possible, without whom this would not be possible. So we are profoundly grateful to that team, their talents, their ability to work with us truly in partnership and bring us to this stage. And of course, my board team, these people, folks, this was the first time, this week was the first time that the 5 of us have met together in person. And what an enriching experience that has been. The 4 people standing behind me here, they've stood next to me throughout this whole process. And it would not be possible without them. So I am grateful for this team. And it's a team that is ready and willing to work with Dr. Liggins for our district. Over the past 2 weeks, we've benefited from the voices of students, from parents, from families, employees, community members. We spent the past 2 days interviewing 5 incredible and fabulous candidates, talented educators. As I said, it was our first time meeting in person as a board team, and we had a productive and substantive conversation and dialogue. And we are united as a board in the belief that Dr. Demetrius Liggins is the right person to lead our district at this time. Dr. Liggins has demonstrated success as a superintendent, and he has a proven track record of achieving outcomes for all students. Based on the feedback we received, they were able to make immediate connections with many people in our community. Dr. Liggins, our commitment to you as a board team is to be partners in this work on behalf of our students. So I will turn it over, folks, to our main attraction, Dr. Liggins. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. Thank you all so very much for being here. Thank you to the board for your vote of confidence. And I'd also be remiss if I did not recognize the 4 other candidates that colleagues in education that really went through this rigorous process with me. I am so excited to be here. I'm excited to get to work with the students, the staff, the families, and the community of Fayette County Public Schools. It is really an exciting time in education. Although we're on our way out, hopefully, of a pandemic, it's a great time to really do some amazing things in education, and I'm excited to get to do it here. in Fayette County Public Schools, and just ready to get to work and ready to make absolutely sure that we impact student achievement in a very positive way very quickly. And so throughout the coming weeks, as we begin the negotiations and transition, I plan on being in the community and continuing to meet many of those that I've already met, to have further conversations, as well as meet a lot of new individuals that I have yet to meet. I believe that the school system is the heart of any community, and so to be chosen as the leader of this school system really I realize the weight that's placed on my shoulders to make sure that the heartbeat of the community continues, and it continues in a very positive manner. So thank you all for being here at this time. I guess I will entertain any questions that anyone may have. Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Williams, what were you most excited about in this potential job, because you haven't accepted yet? And what are the biggest challenges you see ahead?
Well, I will tell you, when first learning of this opportunity here, I was very impressed with what I've read and researched, and going through the rigorous process that Greenwood Asher and this community has put us through. I really came to appreciate it quite a bit, because I learned quite a bit more about the passion and the support of education in this community. There's a lot of amazing things that are happening here, and I want to continue a lot of those and be a part of those. One of the things that a challenge that I do anticipate is we are going to look very closely at closing the achievement gap and making absolutely sure that we provide equity for all students, regardless of their zip code, regardless of the school they attend, and regardless of their family lifestyle, income, or language and culture. You're very welcome. Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Liggins, what will your top priorities be as we head into the upcoming fall semester?
The upcoming fall semester, the main thing is to make sure that we're transitioning out of COVID. Our students have experienced quite a difficult year, and so has our staff. And so making sure that we have things in place to where everyone is comfortable returning to what may be the new normal, and realizing what that actually is, and making absolutely sure that our students and our staff are in a position to where they can continue the work that they are asked to do, whether that be learning or teaching, and making sure that we move forward as a district and focus on the main work of student achievement and increasing student outcomes.
Dr. Wiggins, welcome.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
This closes a chapter, a sad chapter.
Yes, sir.
Do you know Manny Coffey at all? Do you know or are aware of the things he accomplished here, things you'd like to maybe carry the torch that he had initiated, any of that?
I did not know him personally. I knew of him. And I've read lots and lots about him, obviously, in my research of the district. And obviously, he has left a legacy unfulfilled and done some amazing things for the students and the community here. And I want to continue a lot of the things that he started. One particular thing is allowing students the opportunity to have choices as far as their programs of choice and different academies that exist, and would really like to expand upon that. And also really continue his work that he began on equity, and making sure that we are closing the achievement gap and making sure we're paying attention to every student, and all means all.
What, you may have already answered this, but asking it a different way, what's your first order of business?
My first order of business is, again, working on making sure that we transition appropriately from COVID to the new normal, again, whatever that may be. And also just making sure that I have an opportunity to get out into the community, meet people, establish relationships, and really learn. I plan on my first days in the community, first months and weeks, will actually be on a listening and learning tour. I realize there's lots of people that have lots of interest and how our schools performing, where our schools are going, and I plan on listening quite a bit and learning quite a bit, and just simply absorbing all of that information to make sure that I can lead appropriately and lead the school to where the community and this board would like it to go.
Are there any contract issues? I know this decision was.
I don't anticipate we'll have any contract issues. We've talked very initially on certain things, but I don't think there will be any issues with the contract at all. I think we're both very aware of what's fair and looking forward to just getting to the work.
And when will you be moving?
That's also part of the, as soon as possible. I'm still superintendent in a district where I have to transition out and make sure that I leave them in a good position and transition appropriately. But as soon as possible, I'm definitely before the next school year begins here in Fayette County.
And this is sort of a question for everybody, that they had talked before about you being on the job by July 1st. Is that still the intention?
I anticipate it being sometime in July.
Dr. Lehman, what would you say are your greatest successes in the district that you may be leaving?
Oh, that's a great, I think one of the greatest successes is really providing choice, very similar to what we talked about with Manny Calk earlier. We provided a lot of options for our students to be able to personalize their educational choices and make sure that they have opportunities to learn environments where they are, have certain interest and making sure that they are absolutely familiar with the environment in which they are able to excel. In addition to that, we've also done a great deal with just working on narrowing the achievement gap and paying very closely to ensuring that students, again, regardless of their backgrounds, have opportunities to excel and reach their wildest dreams. You're very welcome.
You're leaving a good position.
Yes.
Was there a point during this process where you said, yes, I want this job and I'm ready to leave my good job elsewhere?
I will tell you it's not been an easy decision, but I think after coming and experiencing the process here and meeting this community and really having some serious conversations and then meeting with the board, and so throughout the process, even when things were virtual, meeting the students and really being impressed with what they're doing and what their interests are and their involvement in their schools, it became quite obvious each day as I went through the process as this was a place I wanted to be.
Dr. Lickens, can you please talk a little bit about any challenge you might have faced in your current position, how you overcame it for the better of your students and your schools?
Yes, one particular challenge we inherited when going in, unbeknownst to both myself and the school board at the time, we had a multi-million-dollar deficit in our budget and found ourselves in a situation to where we had to make some immediate changes in order to impact the budget positively without impacting student achievement. At the time, student achievement was also suffering. And so really had to work through that, and it was also a issue of transparency to the community because they wanted to know exactly what had occurred, what was being done about it, and what systems were being put into place to make sure that it did not occur moving forward. And so it really took a great deal of time to make sure that I had the right team surrounding me and making absolutely sure that we all were moving forward in a very transparent manner and correcting the situation that we found ourselves in. You're welcome.
Was there anything that people in Lexington, either in or out of the school district, talked to you about that as a challenge that you know that you're going to have to address head on pretty quickly?
Well, I will see, there's many things that people talk to me about, some very broad and some very narrow, but I will tell you the biggest thing that I heard over and over again was the issue of equity in the district. It's obviously a focus here that the community is very interested in. In addition to that, making sure that our students are caught up after a year of COVID and a year of unpredictable circumstances, ensuring that all of our students are in a place to where they can excel and catch up and get back on track to make sure that we're still fulfilling the mission of the district to graduate students who are prepared and college ready to move on to the next step.
Data-driven.
Yes, ma'am.
I just wondered if you had seen any initial data about student achievement or learning loss or anything that
Most of the data that I saw was older data simply because there has been a gap in data due to COVID. But I spoke with the principal group and spoke with the leadership team, and we also have talked a little bit about where different campuses are, how they're performing, and where our students are. I can tell you just national data trends in general, that's not unique to Lexington, is that COVID has impacted education in general. And more than anything, it's impacted those students that are most vulnerable, those students that are most disadvantaged, more so than others. And so that is something that I fully anticipate to be the case, and fully am prepared to hit the ground running, making sure that we do something positively to impact that.
I know you said the new normal, whatever that might be.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
wondered if Dr. Mill has talked to you, the boards talked to you about what the fall might look like. Are you all still anticipating that it's gonna be as normal as possible?
At this point, we haven't had those discussions, but I do anticipate us still trying to get back to normal as possible, and possibly also offering options to certain families that may have certain needs. Well, again, thank you all so much for being here.
We gotta ask the biggest question.
Okay.
Do you like bourbon? Fast
The correct answer is yes.
Yes. Yes. There you go. Thank you all so much for coming and being here. I appreciate it.